Hi guys, it's Fredrina with Trinity Professional Group, and today is Friday, not our usual Thursday, but I had some business to attend to last night. So tonight we're going to do our second half of Trinity 10 on scaling. Of course, on Tuesday we talked about knowing exactly what it is to scale, which is to invest your time and money and setting yourself up for the next level. So oftentimes that next level would look like a second branch. That next level would look like spreading to another coast, or even expanding your company globally is what scaling is. So you want to make sure that you have the time to prepare to scale as well as the finances to prepare to scale, because it's going to take a bit of energy, a bit of focus, a bit of finances away from your primary operations in order to expand to that second operations or that next level of operations as well. So you want to make sure that you've set yourself up properly. And today for our second half, I'm actually going to be talking about a few more prerequisites that you should endeavor upon before deciding to scale. So for today, the first one I want to talk about is, have you truthfully figured out your target market and your niche? I know that was last week's topic, but this is crucial because that clarity is going to save you so much time, so much money, so much preparation on things that may not matter. It's going to help you avoid unnecessary KPIs and metrics. It's going to help you fully delve into your finances because you know exactly where those finances are coming from and how you can compound that or multiply that with your extended market or your global market operations as well. So once you are clear on your target market, you know how to advertise to that niche to supply the investment or recoup the investment that you're putting in from your initial operations. So if I'm going to the West Coast, I need to know how to appease to my target market, appease to my customer base, based on how they operate in the West Coast as opposed to the East Coast, right? So for instance, if I have streetwear, a streetwear clothing brand, and for the East Coast, it's appropriate for me to have puffer jackets, it's appropriate for me to have bomber jackets, it's appropriate for me to have fur-lined jackets and everything like that to appeal to my target market, the streetwear market. But when I go to the West Coast, it's typically warmer there, or they have more of a dry cold. So furs and things like that wouldn't necessarily be appropriate for that weather, even though the seasons are the same, or even though it gets cold around the same time on both coasts of the United States. So to make sure that I'm not wasting money on advertising to that new niche in the West Coast, I want to make sure that my apparel is appropriate. I want to make sure that my targeting is appropriate, because if not, I'm spending extra money on top of expansion. I'm now spending money on advertising that's not going to be worth what it takes to get that target market on the West Coast that's appropriate for the East Coast with fur or puffer jackets or something like that. So you definitely want to make sure you pay attention to your target market in the expanding area to make sure that you scale properly and are not wasting funds scaling in an area or with advertisements that are not going to be conducive to that particular new target market or that new subset of your target market. So that's a major thing. Make sure you remain clear as well as remaining clear in that expanded niche. The next question will be, how much do the machinery, how much does the machinery that you're going to use to expand cost? How much does another conveyor belt cost? How much does another full line being input into that new building cost, right? Because now you're going to have two rents if you don't completely own the building. You're also going to have double the machinery. You're going to have double the repairs if you can't afford a new machine. So you want to make sure that your expansions are being costed for, or you're accounting for the costs that are going to be incurred when you move to that new market, because you're doubling your operations and you need double the clients or double your target market response in order to recoup the finances that you've put out, right? Most of the time, if you're breaking even, if you are unclear on your target market or how to expand your target market based on what it is you offer, if you're unclear on how to advertise properly, if you're unclear on what it takes in that new market compared to your old market or your original market, because you've had so much time to research there and get a response back based on what you put out. If you're unsure on these things and you're only breaking even, taking time and taking finances out of your company to invest into scaling isn't wise. It is not wise, because you don't know what impact your lack of focus is going to have on your original market. So now that you're trying to focus all of this attention over here in your new market, you're not going to get those finances back. Your customers over here will feel the lowered customer service. They will feel the lowered attention. They will feel like some of the apparel that you're putting out is just kind of thrown together to keep things going. It's not really your same attentive approach that you have with them to get them. So it's going to be hard to maintain them if you don't keep that same level of attention. So with your new market, you want to make sure that you have enough funds to advertise to them, as well as sustain yourself in the event that the response isn't what you initially expected it to be. Going to the West Coast may be fine if you have preset the market, if you have located an area where you want to market, if you accumulated a new way you want to market to that new subset. But if you have not done all those things, or you don't have the finances to acquire the metrics to see how that specific side of the world does things, then you're going to be in a world of trouble. And if you're breaking even, that's technically already financial trouble, because you're only a few customers away from being to the point where you're struggling as a company. You know, it's not about the revenue, it's about the profit you have, right? Because that profit needs to be allocated into different subsets of financing or different bank accounts to make sure that you have some sort of reserve if things get a little shaky. So when you're breaking even, you don't even have enough to put into that reserve fund to now fund your expansion, your scaling, to scale to that next level. So you have to be very attentive to the particulars that are going to be incurred when you choose to scale. So another thing I want to talk about is, do you have the time to scale? Scaling takes time, because I not only need to know what works well for me in my current market, I need to know what doesn't work so I don't repeat it when it's doubly expensive, right? So if I'm already incurring costs here by me having over the market for my employees, having over the market for their wages, having over the market for the amount of time they take to process things. I'm lacking efficiencies when it comes to producing apparel. I'm lacking my marketing team being on time when it comes to launching another advertisement. I'm lacking all of these things over here. That is not the time to expand, because I need to take the time. I want to focus on that new market and focus on my current market and get these things efficient, get these things with a workflow that is continuous and repetitious, so that I have the metrics to warrant expanding and repeating those actions. If the actions aren't worth repeating while I'm here at my main market, I don't want to expand and create new issues on the second market because of the amount of money it takes to invest, the amount of time it's going to take to work through those metrics and work through the things to know if they work or not, and then also have the people implement those new procedures, or our repeated procedures even, that are actually functional in this new market. So scaling takes a lot of time. It takes time. You have to comb through things. And if you're an entrepreneur who is still heavily involved in the day-to-day of your business, you're not ready to scale. You need that time removed from your business so that you are more objective over the whole thing. Like we talked about last video, you have to be able to see the forest. You can't just see a tree in front of you. You need to see the entire forest to see what's impacted when one tree falls, or what's impacted when one tree is out of line, or what is impacted if you don't choose to go down a certain path, right? You have to be objective, and that takes time. You cannot be worried about an order that needs to be out by 5 p.m. when really you need to be worried about orders going out on time in an entirely different time zone, right? So you need the time to scale. You need the time to research. You need the time to develop things that will be conducive to that market, even if they're not conducive to your current market. But if your current market isn't working altogether, then you have no idea where to start, right? You're starting from scratch. That takes so much time to develop new SOPs, and then have the KPIs that correlate with those SOPs. So there's a lot that goes into scaling, and having the time to make sure you dedicate to scaling is going to be crucial to the success of that scaling, as well as crucial to how your team buys into the idea that the company is scaling, right? So again, my name is Fredrina with Trinity Professional Group. Thank you guys for your patience and this new Trinity Friday just for this week. As always, visit my website, trinityprofessionalgroup.com. I'm always here to help. Still taking consultations for new small businesses. And for my birthday, I have a $32 strategy call. You guys, please tap into that. It's going to be great. Whereas I give general examples, I'll be giving specifics. Y'all have a good night. Bye.